Hey everyone, it's Nora from Nora's Arc here. It is a chilly day in Wisconsin today, and it is October 28th, so you know what that means? We are planting garlic today. So before we got into our big planting spree, 200 heads of garlic that we're planting today, we wanted to take a minute and make this video to tell you guys about 3 things that we're doing differently this year that we haven't done in the past. So this is our 4th year planting garlic, and we've learned a lot over those years, so we're making some tweaks this year based on what we've learned. So the first thing that we're doing differently this year is we soaked all of our garlic. So that's what we have here. It's all of our garlic cloves that we're going to plant in a fertilization soak. So last year we did an experiment where we soaked half of our garlic and then we didn't soak the other half that we planted. The reason we did that experiment was because last year was the first year that we soaked our garlic and we didn't know what was going to happen. But the results were that the garlic that we soaked turned out so much better. The cloves were a lot bigger. They seemed like healthier plants. So we're going to soak all of our garlic this year. So that's what we have here, all of our garlic that we're going to plant in our fertilization soak. So let's go ahead and get this strained off, and then we'll tell you about the second thing we're doing differently this year. So now that we have our garlic all strained off, let's talk about the second thing that we're doing differently this year, which is we are not planting any elephant garlic this year. So if you know about elephant garlic, the cloves are really big. It's actually not a true garlic, it's actually a leek. But anyways, the cloves are really big. But the reason that we're not planting elephant garlic this year is because we have really big cloves that we're going to be planting. So this is the size of the clove that we're going to be planting, and then I also just grabbed one of that we use for cooking. So you can tell definitely a big difference in size. And the reason that we don't have to plant elephant garlic this year is because we saved our biggest and our best cloves from what we harvested this year. So we have big enough cloves, so we just don't see the need to plant elephant garlic this year. And then another reason is because elephant garlic, you have to plant that 9 inches apart, versus just standard garlic, you can do 6 inches apart. So we want to get use our space in the best way possible. So that's another reason we're not planting elephant garlic this year, but super excited about all of the cloves that we have saved from our own garlic because they all look really big and really awesome. So now what we're going to do is we are going to clean out these beds so that we can get them ready for planting. And then once we clean them out, we'll let you know the third thing that we're doing differently this year. Got our beds prepared for planting. So now all we have to do is plant our garlic. But the third thing that we're doing differently this year is we are planting our garlic a lot deeper. So last year we did not plant our garlic deep enough, and we had some problems with that, which I'll talk about in a second. But this year we want to make sure we get our garlic deep enough. So the way that we're going to do that is by using our bulb planter. So this guy goes to 4 inches deep. Typically you want to plant your garlic about 3 inches deep. So we'll just make the hole 4 inches with this. And we're simply just going to make the hole, put the dirt here, and then we'll do it 1 row at a time. And we'll just then move the dirt back over the hole and then repeat. And we were thinking about using this bad boy because this definitely goes a lot faster. This is a planting auger that you can just put on your drill. And we were gonna use this because we thought it'd be easier, but then we were running into a problem where the dirt was like cascading back into the hole. So if you do 7 holes really close together like this, the dirt ends up falling into the other holes, so that's not gonna work. We've also had a lot of rain lately, so we found that this bulb planter does a lot better of making like a well-formed hole. So it'll be a lot easier for planting. And the reason that we're using that and what we've done in the past is we would just use a hoe and then make 14 rows. But we did that last year and our garlic was not planted deep enough because it was the same thing where the dirt would just cascade back into the other rows when you would do 14 rows at a time like that. So we just found that's not a great way to get your garlic planted deep enough. So we're gonna try it this way this year. And the reason why we had problems with not planting our garlic deep enough last year was because in the winter we had a lot of weird weather where it would get really warm, then it'd get really cold. So we had a lot of freezing and thawing going on, and that made the dirt level go down. And then in the spring we could see our garlic cloves like popping out, which you don't want that. And we had to cover them with a bunch more dirt. So we don't want to run into that problem again this year. So we just want to make sure that they're planted really deep, and we think that this is going to be the best way to accomplish that. So that's what we're going to do now is we're going to plant all of our garlic, planting about 100 cloves in this bed, 100 cloves in our other bed. So 200 cloves in 64 square feet, hoping to do a record fast planting this year because it's pretty cold out. So just want to get it done. But anyway, I'll also include a link in the description. We have a lot of videos on growing garlic, doing the fertilization soak, which I mentioned earlier. So I'll include a link to that playlist in the description if you want to learn more about growing garlic. And if you learned something from this video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on our gardening journey.